saying goodbye today in Season 10.
And to say goodbye to Fnatic or Aerowolf would be scary at this point. I can't imagine what it would be like for one of these teams to come all this way once again and potentially not make it forward even to the semi-finals.
Finally, a different ban, and you can hear the crowd. They are surprised because Aerowolf on attack, they have banned out Maverick. This is the operator that they were using so effectively on the previous maps.
This is Clubhouse, though. This is Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Clubhouse, Maverick is a crazy operator on Clubhouse. We so consistently see at least one of the hard breaches banned. Usually Maverick, sometimes a Thatcher. But yeah, digging a bit into this ban phase again for Fnatic, same old Monty and Mira. And Aerowolf getting rid of... Actually, no, sorry, it was Fnatic got rid of the Echo last time. So they've switched their defensive bans, but for the attack, the main thing that stands out to me again is just the fact that Monty is continually being banned by Fnatic. Very much a good decision. If things get tight, that is where Aerowolf start to resort. They pick the Monty, and they're so good with it. Last time these teams went head-to-head, Fnatic decided instead of banning the Monty to try to counter it, and it works to a very mixed success. I think it's much safer to just get it off the board entirely.
Well, let's see what happens this time around. I'm surprised, actually, that Aerowolf banned out Echo because Fnatic always struggles whenever an Echo is in play. So they are the ones, usually, as you said, banning out the Echo, and Aerowolf the ones with the mirror bans, but things are getting flipped on their head. Fnatic now, these guys on defense on Clubhouse, that should give them a very good leg up. But so far what we've seen from both teams is, you know, kind of attack is their forte.
Yeah, Fnatic do usually ban Echo on Clubhouse, so Aerowolf doing them a favor, I guess, gave Fnatic the freedom to just do the second ban. I think that Fnatic maybe expected maybe Aerowolf will just ban the mirror, because that's a very common ban for Aerowolf, and so when the Echo ban went out, it's just like, okay, we prepared for Echo and Mirror to be banned, so let's just ban Mirror and keep it as normal. Nonetheless, Fnatic defending first round. They'll head all the way down to Church and Arsenal Room. For a long time, this has been one of the most favored bomb sites, and Fnatic, a team in particular that love to go for these roams. They try to contest upstairs as much as possible. We've even seen teams bring Castle to enable that roam even more. Fnatic don't seem to be doing that right now, but they could very well have those players rotate upstairs, go for that more aggressive hold.
Magnet going to be contesting this long angle down onto the main stairs. As you can see, Mentalist pushing down very aggressively, eats a goo mine, and then just backs right off. It's a decent idea to put on some early aggression, not like the Russian border, of course, but just to give Fnatic something to think about, maybe. Ysera on this Thermite, it's a very common operator for him. It's the most played operator, I would have to say, on attack for him this season. Of course, don't have exact stats on it, but definitely comes close. So right now, taking into Kitchen, it's a very standard take. They need to get these hatches open. They need to take this upstairs control. And the thing about Fnatic is everyone is playing either on or close to site.
Yeah. From that objective, they can deny some of this hard breach. The Kitchen in particular, it's very, very difficult for the attackers to get this hatch open with Impact Tricking and K-Tricking active. We'll see Lusty and Specker having that successfully, destroying 2 sets of X-Kairos pellets from Aerowolf. Ysera used one of his Thermite charges on the bar hatch. I believe the second was on the blue hatch. So not a lot more hard breach utility remaining for Aerowolf here.
And that's the thing about Clubhouse. You always get these things happening. You always have the hatches open, or you get a Kai trick, or here and there. Small changes happen, but overall, it's all about the final push. When you drop into Motor, when you get into Church and everything, what is the play here? You always see the shotgun here as well. So this is going to be very, very important for Aerowolf to deal with. They have the Thatcher on the board, but, you know, it's not really going to be too effective right away because he still has 2 of his EMPs, and I'm surprised they weren't used to fight the Kai trick.
Good point. Fnatic holding very passively here, as many do on Church. Hysterics finds that first pick, the maestro of all players. Virtue still alive inside of blue, and Aerowolf putting some serious pressure onto Church. They open up the main wall, and Lusty goes down thanks to Ysera with the 5-5-6. Mentalist also has a great position. It's Rizraz the next up to make an impact, and he does just that, taking down Ysera with the diffuser. A shield as well to help him out. Frags going both ways. The shield now destroyed. A great pick apart from Aerowolf, but there, the round is closed out. Specker tries his darndest, but Aerowolf make that work. A great attack onto that downstairs, mainly due to that thermite charge.
What a flick
on the church wall.
Now, yeah, you're right, and this is exactly why, even though Fnatic lost this round, this is exactly why Fnatic are such a fearsome team. And the addition of Specca right away, you can see the impact it is having. That aggressive refrag that tried to come out, it could have won them the round right there, if not for Speakeasy flicking off so well. And the utility use, though, from Aerowolf, I have to talk about that as well, because the way they took down that Maestro, it was perfect. They sent in the concussion grenades. Together with it, they timed the thermite charge, and when it opened, Ysera had a perfect ability to take down that Maestro. So that was great.
A great start here for Aerowolf. Clubhouse, a map where the defense is usually very, or the defense downstairs is usually quite favored, especially with Maverick banned. It makes the defense a lot more safe. You can K-trick safely, depending on how the Thatcher is used, and you've got a lot of impact trick ability. So Aerowolf now, they've had that good starting round onto that basement, but Fnatic decide to rotate their bomb site, go Church next up. They will bring the Bandit as well to attempt a Bandit trick. That said, we've seen a really good counter to the Bandit trick develop in recent times with the use of a Zephyr concussion charge to counter that Bandit trick. The detonation of that lifeline concussion does counter the animation from Bandit. So it is possible to use the drone hole on the east side, fly in some concussions and prevent Lusty from getting that Bandit trick down. We'll see whether Aerowolf can be effective on that one, because there are a lot of people have been experimenting with ways to counter it, and that deployable shield might do it. We'll have to see.
Yeah, deployable shield was also used well by Fnatic in the previous round, and you know, Mentalist, he caught that at the very, very last second before he pushed it too aggressively. Now, one quick note I wanted to make was Cash and CCTV. It's a very balanced site for Fnatic. They've won 4 of their defenses, and they have lost 3 of them. So let's see what they can. Sorry, they have won 4 of their defenses and lost 2.
So they're pretty good on their defense, but of course, remember, they are playing against ANZ teams in those stats, so they are at the top of ANZ for a reason. Overall, their win ratio will be high on average. Now, Aerowolf starting to push on, prepare for this thermite charge to be deployed on the main wall. Thatcher needs to be ready, so does Zephyr. It takes a lot of utility to be prepared. Thatcher EMP goes down, and Lusty started to be pushed off, in fact, by the Capital Bolt to counter that Bandit trick. Smart usage, but Ysera does detonate that thermite charge. A real good start for Aerowolf. They had plenty of ways to counter that Bandit trick, and step 1 worked perfectly.
That is a great start, and a surprise, actually, Capital wasn't banned, because they surely have to know, Fnatic, that Luna Metal plays Capital a lot, especially on this map.
But it's a choice between Capital and Monty.
Yeah, exactly. And Capital in general on this map, he's so potent. Yep. There's so much denial he can do. There's smokes as well that he has aside from the firebolt. And he's a 3-speed, he has a good gun, he's got flashbangs. It's a perfect operator. Great
package, but of course for Fnatic, they definitely struggle against the Monty on this map. It's so powerful. Now on the objective, Lusty and Virtue dancing with death here. A small angle opened by Hysterics in that reinforced wall, trying to find angles through that. Doesn't have a large line of sight, but it is just enough to really put some pressure onto Lusty and co.
Question is, which way is Lusty going to peek this? Because Hysterics does have a very, very strong angle onto him right away, because if Lusty goes for a wide peek, that's going to lose him his life. Hysterics very smartly proning his way into the side over there, and that's going to give away his position a little bit with the arc of that flashbang. And the shield is taken down. Magnet is taking some damage as well. Now, last 20 seconds as we count down is 5v5. Smokes are going to go out, and it's going to be a double push, it seems. Rizraz and Mentalist, they're going to come to blows, and woo, Luna Metal, he's right on top of one. He's going to take down one, but C4, what is going on? I have no idea. I can't even read the kill feed fast enough.
A great round for Aerowolf, exploding into the bomb site. We mentioned the Capital. You emphasized how potent it can be in Luna Metal. Using that utility to a T, smoke grenades to cut off those angles. He gets in nice and close, runs past them, and finds 2 to close it out. Perfect teamwork from Aerowolf as a whole to counter every single thing that Fnatic had to throw at them. And when it came down to the execute, when they needed to move, they had a way to do that.
Now, this is a very, very surprising turn of events, because these 2 bomb sites have been very strong for Fnatic, and just these two bomb sites are the primary and secondary bomb sites for pretty much every single team. Some teams like Gym and Bedroom, of course, and that's usually the tertiary bomb site. But of course, Fnatic being pushed back all of a sudden like this, it is going to give Aerowolf a lot of confidence. And what was also going to give them confidence is the fact that they have really consistently had Xavier Esports' number on Clubhouse. So that means that they can bring all the experience against such a strong team like Xavier and use it against Fnatic.
Xavier is a team that often plays those very aggressive holds, plays very aggressively. In Fnatic on Clubhouse, what we used to see from them was a heavy roam when defending this basement bomb site. They used to play a lot of operators like Mute, even Vigil, roam really heavily upstairs, delay as much time as possible. And if enemy teams tried to rush the site, their player who was on the objective, it usually used to be Aces, would just delay enough time for the other Fnatic roamers to execute the flank. Now, Aerowolf are used to playing against that kind of aggressive playstyle, as you mentioned, with their experiences against Xavier, and Fnatic are yet to go for that roam. That said, they will reattempt this full turtle strat. A lot of ways to deny Aerowolf's hard breach, and we saw that being successful last time, but still, Aerowolf made it work. Let's see if they can do the same again.
Perhaps it's that study of Aerowolf's play against Xavier Esports that caused Fnatic to shy away from playing the aggressive game. They saw that they can deal with it.
If I have any word for what I'm seeing from Fnatic in this series, it is shy. We've seen, when we spectated Specker on the previous map, Border, he was scared to take these gunfights. He wasn't fully committing. And Fnatic, they seem to have lost that bit of magic that they used to have. Oh, come on, Hysterics, that perfect K trick. You really need, we need to see the Thatcher being used.
Yeah, what is Speakeasy doing in the first round as well? He just held on to his EMPs?
He's got all three! Seriously?
Doesn't make sense.
So you have to, if there's already a K charge there, and the Kate is there ready to trick with a second one, you have to play 2 EMPs. So they'll use one on the bar hatch.
Well, to be fair, that is the more important hack.
Yep.
So I guess if they kind of suss out where this Kaid is using his tricks, so
yeah, well they've already they've got the stock hatch as well open now. Blue hatch, they use a thermite charge, which is much more difficult for the electric claw to trick. They still haven't got that kitchen hatch yet, but they didn't do that last time at all. And of course, they saved one thermite charge for Church. A long angle being held by Virtue, but he loses that fight to Hysterics. Now, however, Hysterics is trapped in here. There's no way for him to get out safely through that ladder, except for if potentially he got a smoke grenade to cover him, but I don't think that would work too well. Magnet does have a long angle to contest that oil pit, but he gets off it for just a moment.
And this is where blue control of the hatch would have been so important. It would have been so helpful, but Lunamel is going to push down blue stairs anyway, and looks like it's going to be Lunamel pushing from the other side, and likely to send out one of his firebolts right away. No, it's going to be, it's going to be a smoke bolt first, possibly to cover Hysterics' push up, and then onto Lusty.
Metal could well, as you said, use a smoke grenade. There you go, Blue, to cover that push-up from Hysterics. Potentially a firebolt now to prevent Lusty from getting too aggressive. Can he make the impact trick work? No, it just misses. And now Aerowolf have a perfect opportunity ahead of them. Rizraz can find the 1 kill onto Luna, but Fnatic, it's a 2 versus 2. Ysera and Mentalist, the last 2 men left for Aerowolf. They have to step up. 19 seconds left. Mental finds one. It's all on Magnet now. 1 player left for Fnatic to close out this round. He has the older, but he has to find this peak. Mentalist closes it down, and we have yet another attack won by Aero.
This is shocking. Definitely shocking, because I was talking to, you, Dev, Raven, and Manic as well, and I told you guys how, from what I've seen against the games that they've played in Southeast Asia, especially against Xavier, it seems like the comms for Aerowolf are fairly complex, fairly clunky. But if you're hearing you guys can't hear it on the broadcast, but we can, that crispness is exactly there. Before, when Ysera started putting that thermite charge on the church wall, it was amazingly how clear the pauses were. How clear the comms were, and it's a tactical pause for Fnatic.
That's right, Fnatic decided to utilize their tactical pause, 1 per map. Right now, lost 3 defenses in a row on Clubhouse when Maverick is banned. That is not acceptable, and I'm sure that's what Dizzle's telling him right now. Interestingly, it's not often when I'm pretty sure when Dizzle makes these tack pauses, it's not usually him saying, "All right, guys, this is what I'm seeing. This is what you need to fix." It's really top level stuff. It's about the mental game. It's about the communication. That's really what coaches talk about mostly from this. The players themselves, they have enough game knowledge to employ counters themselves.
Now, one thing I want to touch on, because it was a very similar situation, I think, against CHG. Aerowolf runs away to a 3-0 advantage. XQQ is like, all right, boys, let's step it back. Let's dial it back a notch. Do this, and, you know, you've practiced this. Just fall back on that. And then after that, CHG just rejuvenated. So maybe we'll see the same thing again. That's exactly why on the previous 2 maps, I was talking about how Aerowolf struggles to hold the lead.
Yeah, it did slip away from them as well on Border when they were up 4-2 in the first half. It looked like it was going to slip away from them on Villa as well when they were in the early advantage, but Clubhouse is where it all ends. Fnatic and Aerowolf. Fnatic really have to step it up. They've decided to reinforce the church wall from the other side. Maybe they were worried that Aerowolf were getting that. So there was this little trick, right, that came up on Twitter. People saying that there's a new way to counter the impact grenade trick when people use impacts to destroy thermite charges. If you destroy the actual soft part of the wall, you place the thermite charge right on the metal portion of the reinforcement, it's much more difficult for the impact grenade to hit it. Now, Fnatic seem to think that that's what Aerowolf has been doing, so they're going to reinforce the walls from the other side to prevent that from happening. I don't think this is going to make a difference here.
Well, this shield is new. I think that shield is new, allowing them to play a more aggressive position into blue, because that's where Hysterics got the first kill last time onto Virtue. I'm not sure, was that shield there?
Yeah, I don't think so. Last time the shields Fnatic were using would try to hold on the church wall, because Aerowolf are consistently opening up this church wall and it is completely pulling apart Fnatic's hold. Now, we'll see whether Fnatic can hold on to that church wall this time, deny that breaching utility. We'll see whether Aerowolf can take control of blue as successfully as they did in the past. What's for sure is that Fnatic needs to do something.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit similar to how we were seeing Aerowolf on Border in the second half when they were on defense. They didn't really seem to have an answer to what Fnatic was doing, and now it seems like the tables have turned. Fnatic on the defense don't seem to have an answer, and I think they're just going back to the basics. They're not really trying the impact tricks and Kai tricks and like, all right, let's let them open it up. Let's focus on our basic stuff, and maybe that's what Dizzle talked to them about.
Actually, no, they've got the Maestro camera inside of Moto itself to try to get a sneaky shot onto that thermite charge. However, Aerowolf does spot it out, and I believe they're going to take it out with a Thatcher grenade and then shoot it. Oh no, it gets shot from the other side. Wait, was there a Jaeger device there as well?
I think so, because did I just see Hysterics send out X-Kairos?
I think Mentalist tried to shoot it with a lifeline charge, and that lifeline charge was destroyed by the ADS. Now, can we get the wall open? No, the wall gets tricked just perfectly by the K charge. It wasn't, in fact, the Maestro camera. Now, how many more Thatcher EMPs do we have left? I believe there's only 1 remaining. Or 0! That could completely mean the round for Fnatic here.
That miss on the Maestro cam won them this defense of the church wall. Because that meant that 1 EMP was wasted on that Maestro cam.
That missing EMP could have huge ramifications here for Aerowolf. They can't do the same strategy they've been doing time and time again. Church wall will not be open. Do they have kitchen hatch? Yes, they do. Now, that's a difference between previous rounds. Virtue gets flashed out, but Hysterics has no way of destroying this shield. He can try to flash again, but really, Virtue should win this fight. Specker gets traded out by Hysterics. Virtue just holding on here inside of Oil Pit, but everything's working for Aerowolf, and now all Hysterics has to do is hold on to Virtue as long as possible. 3 versus 3 and only 10 seconds remaining. The plant goes down, and Aerowolf have a successful hold here on the Arsenal side. It's up to Fnatic to retake.
Now, I think he had the number, Hysterics, off Magnet, but he couldn't quite dial it. Virtue's not going to retake onto Mental. He's going to take him down. Oh, but he's going to be a trade from Hysterics. There we go. He's coming up huge. And Lusty, he's the only member left alive. He's going to finish off what was left of Mentalist. And this is a very, very poor position from Hysterics. He's going to pop some shots in onto the Kaid and is going to play some passive, but the defuse is being stuck. Does he have the time? Can Lusty hold on?
No way!
Oh, no.
My God!
It is Hysterics. That was so close. My heart was in my mouth.
And we thought that that was going to make the difference. The fact that Fnatic prevented Aerowolf from opening that church wall, we thought that was done and dusted. But no, Aerowolf said, all right, you shift your focus onto church wall. We shift our focus onto Arsenal. They get that kitchen hatch open successfully finally, and then they execute onto Arsenal. Perfect adaptations mid-round by Aerowolf, and then the goal to close it out as well.
You just said, for the viewers, let me just recap what Dev said. Perfect adaptation by Aerowolf mid-round. This is something that Aerowolf, throughout their entire history in Rainbow Six, have struggled with. If they're coming up with these kinds of mid-round adaptations, that's a death knell for Fnatic.
Fnatic are such a good Clubhouse team, and you can't understate that. Fnatic are exceptional on Clubhouse, and we very rarely see them drop maps here on Club. This is where they want to go. It was the decider map against Dark Zero when they played them at Raleigh. Unfortunately, they didn't get to the decider, and we've seen so many times Fnatic Clubhouse. It's their home. Aerowolf, though, despite losing that Monty, they are coming out so well here on the attacking side.
It's the Capital, man. I told you, you are, and you pointed it out. Good. You know, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Do I ban the Monty? Do I ban the Capital? What do I do? Can I ban both? Can we do that? Can we switch one of a defensive
Can we change the rules, please?
Yeah, exactly. Can we make 2 attack events, you know?
I think, yeah, there is such a good position so far for Aerowolf. 4 up on the attack, no less. Of course, we saw something like this on Border where there was a significant advantage on the attack compared to the defense, but Border is such a different beast to Clubhouse.
Becca almost got 1 kill right there. If he had held his nerve for at least 2 seconds more, that probably would have been Speakeasy going down, but, well, no harm, no foul. Oh, what on earth? Where? Virtue?
Was that? So that was, he ran out, and while Hysterix was rappelling up, he took him down as he got onto the roof. What a pick, and an essential one for Fnatic, as that is one of the key hard breaches off the board. Aerowolf will struggle a lot more to open up that church wall this time around.
And I think that's the first time on this map that Virtue has won that engagement against Hysterix, and that's going to give him a lot of confidence because he knows Hysterix is a great player, and to take him down, maybe he can regain his mojo from Border, where he got just insane amount of kills. And now Magnet is on the stairs. Rizraz still has catwalk control, so Aerowolf yet to take catwalk control. Now they're likely to push it straight away.
Last time Aerowolf attacked this bomb site, they went in the end for a construction side push. However, it looks like now that they've lost the Hibana, they'd rather opt for this garage take and then plant next to that B bomb. Much more typical take we see very frequently in all regions. And there are a lot of ways that the defenders have learned to counter it. Speakeasy has to take out Rizraz. There's also several other players. Rizraz eliminated there by Speakeasy. Good teamwork to finish that one, but Virtue does get that refrag from down an oil pit, and he'll get out of there as well. 2 picks for him so far in the round, and that's really keeping Aerowolf at bay. However, Ysera jumps back in and trades him out. Another pick for Mental on the bomb site. Just 2 left for Fnatic, and there's so much time for Aerowolf to play with.
So I was just about to comment how Virtue is giving them so many problems and his unpredictability, but it seems that Fnatic, they don't have as much unpredictability as they want because Aerowolf are reading them almost perfectly right now. This is looking really good.
No.
They've got information on this bandit.
Oh, no.
Oh, Lusty, how do you make that happen? Ysera, how do you fail? And Mentalist, he's just going to miss that, and oh, still gonna get 1. Luna Medal, oh, what can he do? He's the captain. He's fighting against Lusty. We have seen Lusty make crazy 1v2 clutches happen.
He gets flashed out. Surely this doesn't work out for him. He's the last one left for Fnatic, but Luna Medal and Mental, they can't find him. Completely smoked out, and now he just has to bide his time. 20 seconds, but Lusty gets taken out by Mentalist. 5 straight rounds for the Singaporeans.
Did you hear how loud Mentalist shouted? That scream, yes, we got him. We got this.
I mean, even if Fnatic get this next round, even if we're heading into a 5-1 second half, on map, the final map of this series, it has been back and forth between these 2 teams. Fnatic looked so good on the second map Border, but here we are on the final map, and it's getting so... I can't believe that Aerowolf are absolutely running away with it. I had never expected to see such a dominant performance on the final map. Fnatic are so under pressure right now.
You know when I would call this kind of performance from Aerowolf?
Map3.
No. Old Club.
Old Clubhouse.
They would
Times have changed. They destroyed
Fnatic
Fnatic.
And shut every single team down. By the way, it just has been a long staple for them, the Clubhouse dominance. It used to be. And I think they beat Fnatic.
They did.
5-0 or 6-0.
It was 5-0 in
Yeah.
the Season 7 APAC finals. And Fnatic won the other two maps. It's 5-0 so far. We're another 5-0 Aerowolf over Fnatic here at APAC finals. Good thing for Fnatic, there are 2 more rounds that Aerowolf will have to get to close this out. And Fnatic certainly don't want to go down without a fight. Man, Specca has been having such a tough series so far. And Fnatic have been clawing just to get round by round, kill for kill. Even Fnatic, even Virtue, finding 2 picks early in the game doesn't make the difference. And now Fnatic on the final round of defense. They've tried Cash, they've tried Church. Nothing is working, even their adaptations, and they'll this time go to Bedroom. And Virtue just gets another freebie off of Spawn, as Virtue does. At least that's a good way to start it off, but a lot more work to be done for Fnatic to stay in the game here.
Mentalist acknowledging that was a very, very nice shot indeed. But, you know, everyone from Aerowolf has been stepping up, and we talked about players blowing hot and cold and over-reliance on one player. Right now, as it did against Wildcard, I think Virtue is the only one who's keeping these rounds close.
Lusty as well, gotta have him credit for last
true.
couple rounds. He did make it very close as well. Lusty and Virtue have been the best players on Fnatic this game. We need to see, as a team, them start to really step up, because Aerowolf aren't giving him a thing. Hysterix gets a drone into construction. This cash hold as well from Lusty, trying to hold on as long as possible. Destroyed some of the floor inside of CCTV to prevent a thermite charge on the floor, exposing his position as it destroys some of the wall as well. Something we see in ANZ a lot, but Fnatic not going to enable Aerowolf to make that happen.
Now, Lunamel on the basement take, I think, the one that Hysterix got their last 1v1, he was the one to fall. The Capital was pretty much taken out of play in that push, and yet Fnatic couldn't win it out. So now that Mentalist has been taken off the board, let's see whether Aerowolf can still make the magic happen, because Mentalist has been making so many of these plays. He's getting so many good and important impact frags.
That said, Mental's also a very good communicator, and he can sit there on cams and make the difference. Rizraz gets that 1 kill, peeking out onto the jacuzzi balcony. A good job. His teammate, Speakeasy, was just around the corner. Hysterix, you can't lose this gunfight. Don't be careful, man! He gets it in the end, and now it's even 3-3. But a lot of health damage onto 2 players from Aerowolf, and now 1 more shut down. Virtue's still alive, taken low, but not out yet. Fnatic still have 3 players. Could be this, their first round on the defense. Speakeasy exposes his position. He can find 1. Can he get the second? No way! And there it's all up to Hysterix. Just a sliver of HP. Can he find this first kill at least? There you go, he sees the tail end of Valkyrie, but doesn't close it out. Fnatic, your Aussie team are finally back in the game. 5-1 on the half.
So that was close, really. It was very, very close, because Speakeasy, this is the thing, you know, even pros have this problem. When you get faced with so many targets, your target selection, it kind of goes haywire. You're like, because he was acting on the information of that player near the construction doorway, and he was like, I'm going to kill this guy. And then suddenly he sees this Valkyrie, who was holding the angle, actually. Very lucky that he didn't die immediately. So he went and tried to get the kill, and he's like, oh no, there's a Valkyrie. Then he came back, and, well, he just couldn't land the shots. This flicks, he does them, but it's very hard to do.
Yeah. So Fnatic, they change up that bomb site. They tried Church 3 times and they lost it. They tried Cash twice. Every single time they lost these bomb sites. In fact, they alternated almost every time, changing bomb sites every round. And finally, they decided to go Bedroom, and it worked. Bedroom we see a lot of in the ANZ Pro League in particular. Fnatic was the only bomb site they could pull off. Now Aerowolf onto their defense, and things are going to be looking grim for this half for Fnatic. We'll have to see at least 5 rounds of attack for Fnatic to stay in this series.
So 2 things. 1, I'm never, ever, ever going to counter Fnatic's. 5-1 is a defensive half right now for Aerowolf. I'm still not counting them out because, look, it's Fnatic, all right? And number 2, Aerowolf, these guys are bringing a clash. Ysera, he's so practiced on the clash in the Southeast Asian region. And you know, I was just now on stage. You know, when they were getting the stage set up and everything, they had a clash up on Ysera's screen, and they didn't know.
Oh, really?
It was just a very lucky pick from the the people setting up. And I talked to him, Ysera, are we going to see clash? And he just gives me a cheeky smile.
Aerowolf and Shields, name a more frustrating duo to go up against. Fnatic can ban the Monty, but they're not banning the Clash as well. So, I mean, Fnatic surely will have done their research. They will be fully aware that Aerowolf do play a lot of this Clash. It's a staple for Ysera, whether that's with the SPS SMG9, SP SMG9 rather, add an extra S there, or whether it's with the Shield itself. He's a very good player on this operator, and he can use his impact grenades as well to full effect to counter this placement of this hard breach.
Yeah, that's not something you want a Clash to be doing, getting that aggressive with a shield on her back. She is a 3 armor, and you know...
She's a bit more protected than most operators, because she can't
from
really
the
be shot in the back. Yeah,
but
exactly,
right? He's
right?
taking a vertical fight with that, with the SMG pistol.
SMG's it's a very good SMG, actually.
Yeah.
Really, really high damage and high rate of fire, a bit like the SMG-11, but with more bullets.
And a sight that comes with it.
That's right. Just trying to impact trick this kitchen hatch, and Fnatic haven't dedicated to try to do kitchen just yet. Lusty with 2 X-Kairos left. It's likely his next step, unreinforced. Stock hatch, a bit of a surprise, but Fnatic have made good progress here.
So Fnatic seem to be liking this look over for blue push. You can see Virtue is settling in there, and they might be discussing right away.
There are no defenders in blue, in fact.
Exactly. They don't care, Aerowolf. They're not interested in defending blue because seems like they're confident enough to let blue control go to Fnatic and then either collapse on them maybe or use the Clash.
In fact, they fully reinforced the wall between blue and church, which is very uncommon in competitive play. Most of the time you see people try to hard hold blue, not fully reinforcing it like that, and there was no wall denial on it either for Aerowolf. So we'll see if Fnatic decides to open up that wall. It looks like at the moment Magna is poised to open this church wall from the main stairs. He's worried about this denial though. It could be impact grenades, it could be Cade charges. He's going to try and place it as low as possible. Is anyone ready? The Cade is nowhere nearby. There's a fear charge, prevents him, and he's getting shot from Arsenal! What a good pick, and now there's no more Thermite. Speakeasy makes it happen. Ysera under the pump right now from blue, but he stays alive. Can he impact trick this one too? He does! Fnatic looking so good, but Virtue makes a good entry there and finds 1 kill. Aerowolf have the strategic advantage, but Fnatic have the numbers. 20 seconds left.
Now 20 seconds, this is going to go all haywire right now. Mentalist is going to front. Oh, there he goes. He's going to dull it, but Virtue, he's down. Lusty, he's going to get 1 more. Hysterics, what can he do? The smoke grenades are not coming out. 1 gets picked back up, that is Spectre. And now Mentalist, he has to deny this. There's no rotation.
Oh my god.
Hysterics, he gets it from the outside. Rizraz and the wall's not open. What can he do? Nothing, because it's going to be Fnatic to hold on.
And we were so close to counting this one out for Fnatic, but never counted out until they're down and the match is over. Because they are back in this. They win their first attack, and it looked like such a good showing from Aerowolf as well. That hard breach denial was on point, killing that Thermite, impact tricking that kitchen hatch, but they left no watchful eye on blue, and that enabled a lot of picks from that position.
The reason they lost that round was because Ysera was tasked with 2 things. He had to hold blue as a cache. You could see that. And you could see he was tasked to deny the kitchen hatch being opened up. Now he was caught between 2 minds because Virtue was already inside blue. He was putting on so much pressure onto the defenders, and they were still getting pressured from kitchen. And Ysera was like, well, I need to impact trick this. He's getting calls like, hey, come on, impact trick this. But you know, he took some damage initially and still went for the impact trick.
Yeah, and if you're Fnatic that round, you're thinking, okay, we really want to get this church wall open. We're doing so much to get this church wall open. Oh no, we lose our Thermite. What do? We can no longer enter church. Well, blue was completely reinforced, so they knew they didn't have to worry about those angles. So that means entering into church from the Moto doorway, you only have to worry about people playing inside church itself. Near the table, or that's a really common position. Near the bomb is a really common position, or at the little cubby area next to the thermitable wall. So it was much easier for them to make that entry. They filed in multiple players and they forced the plant down. Whereas for Aerowolf, they had no control of blue. They got picked and pushed from that direction. And they also didn't have any presence inside of Cash to hold on and deny that push from Fnatic. They did get a bit preoccupied, a bit stretched thin, as you said. And I think that was one of the things that really was to their detriment.
So this is more standard from Aerowolf, and I'm sure Mentalist would have been on that round screaming about the blue wall being unreinforced. But this time around, they're fully reinforcing it and creating that rotation hole into Church. And that's very important. That's more standard. And we've seen them time and time again do the same thing. And Ysera is playing Clash, well, more like a Clash.
Yeah, he is. Clash typically used to contest choke points, slow down the enemy, rather than, I mean, he was playing the Clash a little bit like you might play any other operator with impact grenades trying to impact a hatch. And at that point, he didn't actually get to utilize Clash for what she's good at.
Correct. And maybe it's just a better idea to let Hysterics bring those impact grenades together with Speakeasy.
You can't bring impacts on smoke anymore.
Oh, right,
though.
that's right.
That's super. I know, it's heartbreaking, isn't it? He has a deployable shield now instead of impact grenades.
That was a good change, to be honest.
Yeah, he was very good with impact grenades, so you have to look at operators like the Cade and the Maestro to bring the impact grenades now.
Yeah, so likely Speakeasy is going to be chief in denying that. He has Kaid, Electric Claws, he has his gun as he denied Magnet in the previous round.
Surely Fnatic won't fall for that again, though.
I mean, who knows? That's precisely the reason why you leave that wall unreinforced. A lot of people, you know, they dog on teams, on pro teams, for leaving that wall open because it allows easy access into the, you know, the Arsenal bomb site. But this is when it works. This is why they do it.
Oh, wow, that's a huge amount of damage done onto the Clash, and their Cade is also taken out. Great job from Luster to make that happen. Concussions from the Zafir don't successfully kill Ysera. He's still up and kicking, but he is pretty low on HP. A frag grenade could mean his death, and I believe one goes out. There you have it. Virtue say goodnight to Ysera. Aerowolf are falling apart right now. Fnatic having a very good attack so far, but Mental gets super aggressive, takes down one. That's Magnet the Hard Breach. He gets refragged, and it's all Fnatic from there on out. Two straight attacks in the half.
Fnatic are going to make this happen, and mark my words, this will happen because they're looking so good right now, and they're feeling it. They're feeling it, and this is very, very key for Fnatic. This is how they win rounds. Once they get that mental switch on, you know, the tag pause didn't do it. But these 2 rounds, you know, these 3 rounds in a row are going to give them so much confidence. It's going to help them a lot, like, unquestionably.
Yeah, Fnatic have gotten back in the game. 3 rounds in a row, as you said. 1 for their defense, 2 for the attack now. And it's really, we're looking at Aerowolf now. We're saying, okay, you've tried Church twice, didn't work. You tried to hold it the same way twice, didn't work. We still haven't seen any hard roams. Both of these teams love that kind of playstyle, and neither of them have been embracing it on the defense here at all. Maybe it's because we've got Jackal and Dokkaebi left in, but honestly, that's so common in Pro League. I don't think that would be the thing to prevent the roam. Here for Aerowolf, they move over to the Cash bomb site. They do bring the Vigil, so that does highlight potentially some more aggression from Lunar Metal, but it can be a bit difficult to read. We'll have to see how it pans out.
So the funny thing is, when Fnatic were defending, the basement, statistically, against Australian teams and New Zealand teams was stronger. And right now, their attacks onto basement was weaker. But we're just seeing a complete flip from Fnatic over here. So they are somehow better against Aerowolf's basement than they are against ANZ team's basement.
And you have a really big game. You spend a lot of time counter-stratting, watching the VODs. You get a really good understanding of how teams hold different areas and how teams take different areas. And that means that everything can be turned on its head at LAN. And that's why LAN is so, so great. We can talk about the map stats from during the season, but everything changes here when we get to a LAN event. Now it's Aerowolf trying to hold on to Cash as long as possible. They will also attempt the Bandit trick. Fnatic not bringing in the Capitao that Aerowolf used to counter this. However, they do have Specker with the Zafir, so they could try to counter it using the Zafir trick with the concussions, or from below as well.
I think the wall did get opened up, at least a section of it.
No, I think that was actually the construction wall being opened up. But now it's Magnet trying to open up this main wall, detonate this thermite charge. It's going to get tricked. No, it doesn't. That Zafir charge perfectly counters it. Hysterics, fortunately, does get out in time, however.
Yeah, the funny thing is there's no one on the stairs on the north side. That's a surprise for me. Oh, there we go. Speakeasy is now there. Initially, they weren't playing anyone there. They had barbed wire. But that could have been a point of weakness. It isn't anymore. Lunar Metal, Hysterics, and Speakeasy, all 3 looking to go downstairs. If Fnatic read into this, if they smash the site from construction side, this could just be another round, a 4th round in a row for them.
Hysterics is now rotated to Bandit trick this construction wall, a much easier one to Bandit trick. However, there are still a lot of ways Fnatic can get around that, and they might not even need to have this information onto that east side. It looks like they are formulating for a construction side push, just leaving Specker out on the east balcony to cover any rotations within B. Hysterix looks to contest that a little bit, but should be careful as he only has a holo going up against what's likely an ACOG on the enemy side. Hysterix ready to bandit trick this, and we can see Speakeasy as well, watching for that aggression from construction. It's up to Fnatic to make the next move.
Now, Hysterix, he's sometimes careless with his plays, but he's not going to be careless this time around. He's just going to get forced off, but he's still going to get the bandit trick off because the X-Star responds so slow. But Fnatic, they know exactly what's going to happen. Virtue sends out a frag grenade, and he's been on point with them this match so far. Hysterix goes down 5v4 as we tick down to the final few seconds.
Oh no!
Oh, Speakeasy, he's going to get one.
How does he get flicked on? Virtue finds Luna trying to flank, and everything's going for Fnatic. Rizraz says, hi, I'm here, and I'm making a big move. 4 versus 1 now. Ysera has to hold on. They know his position. They can lock him out here. 33 seconds to go. Fnatic have everything going for them. All on Ysera.
Now, he got stuck on their motorbike. Really just bad omen for him, and you can hear how loud Fnatic's comms are. They know exactly where he is. He's going to push up, and he's going to get taken down. Fnatic make it 4 in a row, so that is 1 on attack and 3 on defense. Aerowolf's defense.
We saw Aerowolf 5 rounds in a row on their attack, and now we've seen 4 rounds in a row from Fnatic as well. It looks like this match is going to be a lot closer than we thought. We've been 1 round away from match point for such a long time, but Aerowolf, they haven't managed to close it, take it to that next step. How long will it take for Aerowolf to make the necessary adaptations, to change what they need to? They still haven't, they're not going to bedroom yet. That was what in the end worked for Fnatic. They changed bomb site between Church and Cash so many times, finally went bedroom and it worked. Aerowolf tried Church twice, now this is their second time trying Cash, and honestly, Infian, I don't feel like it's working for them.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be working out, and I'm surprised no tap pause has come out from their side, because this is what Fnatic did 3 rounds, you know, they lost tap pause. This is what happened on border. They started losing rounds, Aerowolf tap pause, try to bring something back. I think they've maybe just been discussing it on their own.
Yeah, I mean, even just try to counter the momentum from Fnatic. When you mentioned discussing on their own, that's really what Aerowolf do in tech pauses anyway, because as we said, they don't have a coach. They have Jordan standing behind them, the sub, but that's quite different. Usually in tac pause, it's Ysera and Lunametal who do the most talking, Mentalist as well. Taking that tac pause would just mean that Fnatic have to delay a little bit more time. Fnatic can't run with the momentum as much, give Aerowolf some room to breathe, maybe talk about changing bomb sites. And I think that would have been the smart choice. Didn't work out for Fnatic though. It doesn't happen for Aerowolf though. Fnatic keep going on these attacks.
Nevertheless, you can't count out Jordan. Surely he must have a good tactical mindset as well. That's what prompted Aerowolf to bring him on in the first place. And, you know, getting that top-down view of everyone on his side, that's going to help somewhat.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing I don't get is why is Aerowolf trying to force out this bandit trick when Fnatic are just going to try to...
It doesn't work in ranked.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
like
Fnatic...
How do you expect it to work in
Fnatic are just going to get rid of those ADSs, and then Specker will counter that bandit trick. There you go, and that's the story. The only really way to counter that is to ADS juggle, which is where you use your Jaeger ADSs and you put them down as soon as they waste the other one. But nope, that's not happening, and Fnatic get the wall open for free. Aerowolf now have Hysterix on Bandit with utility he's going to have to rotate and use on construction side.
If Aerowolf fail to make that 5-0 advantage count, well, that's a quick trade. Speakeasy and Lassie taking each other out. But yeah, if they fail to make the final count, that's going to be... That's it. That's no better chance.
Specker has taken a lot of damage here on the east balcony from Ysera, holding inside of Garage. Fnatic haven't been contesting Garage. It was Ysera last man standing previously. He does have an Evil Eye in his pocket he wants to deploy, but he's worried about Virtue peeking on up. Does see that drone takes it out as well. Virtue, is he really going to take this fight? He's going to actually get the nade out. Surely the Maestro won't make this happen. A beautiful shot for Virtue. And now that's Garage control for Fnatic as well. Everything's looking so good. This is a textbook take, and Aerowolf are falling apart.
Virtue is as Virtue does. That is insanely good from him, and he's really woken up so far. Not quite having the best time on defense, but on attack. On the buck, he's just taking everyone out. And Lunametal on this wide roam, there's lots of goo mines, but it doesn't seem that Fnatic are at all interested in pushing over here through the gym and bedroom side.
Magnet gets right into the site, takes down Mentalist, and he's good for more. He wants to push right on in there. Only Luna Metal last man standing, but the wall's not open and the plant's not in the default spot. Now he's locked out, and Fnatic have no intention of letting him back in here in this post plant. Luna Metal's just going to desperately attempt to see what he can do. Can't even find the first one. Fnatic, 5 straight rounds.
Luna Metal, unfortunately, not able to galvanize his team like seemingly Magnet has right away. And look at that, Magnet is feeling so self-assured right now. You can see it on his face. You can see it on all of Fnatic's faces. They are so confident right now, and they know that they can make this 7 rounds in a row.
That's what they need, 7 rounds in a row to close out this map. We may well head to overtime if Aerowolf at least get 1 round here in this half, and now they'll take a tactical pause to discuss with their team. You can see it's mostly Mentalist on the right, Ysera next one along, and Luna Metal second from the left, doing this discussion, figuring out what is it that they need to do. Is it worth changing bomb site? This is when you have enough time to actually talk that through, because one person might say, guys, let's just go bedroom. It worked for Fnatic. We have a good bedroom defense, and then someone else will say, actually, no, I think this, I think that. You have enough time to have that little discussion, work out any issues, get on the same page. Because at the moment, from Aerowolf, what I'm not seeing is enough counters to Fnatic's takes. It worked on the basement. They had really good counters. Fnatic won anyway. Here on Cash, it has been really quite abysmal. They hadn't had any kind of reply to that Zofia trick, and yet they're still trying to bandit trick.
Well, Mentalist, he's feeling a bit stressed right now. He doesn't quite seem to know what is going on. And there we go, Gym Bedroom finally coming out. So what Fnatic made work for them after many, many rounds. Well, it was a lot more rounds.
They lost 5, and then they went on Bedroom. Here,
Aerowolf lost 4 defense.
Exactly, yeah. Lost 4 defenses. So it's like they're 1 round ahead, I guess. But that said, I think
they haven't won anything else, so it might just be 6-6.
It could very well be 6-6. And I feel like Fnatic are very much, you've got to be expecting at this point that they're going to change up bomb site, especially after the tactical pause. It kind of signals that kind of thing that you might be doing. Aerowolf on their defenses. That's not where I expected them to struggle here on Clubhouse.
And Luna Metal this time, he's going on the Clash, despite the fact that Ysera's been a lot more practiced in the regular season, in the rally qualifiers. Everything, really, recently the Clash has been Ysera's domain. Now, of course, Luna Metal is fantastic on shield. He's a good blitz. He's a fantastic Monty. But we haven't seen too much of his Clash to really pass a judgment on it. We're going to see it now.
Yeah, we will. That's for sure. We'll have to wait and see how effective it can be. Now, the thing for Aerowolf is that they don't have very much wall denial onto that main west jacuzzi wall. They have the K. They do have the Bandit. You can't impact trick that wall anymore. You can try to K trick it, but that of course only works against Hibana pellets. You can try to Bandit trick it, but of course that only works if there's no one on the bedroom, on the rather gym window trying to contest you. So I'm actually really worried right now for Aerowolf. I don't think that this is going to work out. They're not going to be able to hold on to that west wall for very long, and they've completely opened up the bathroom wall as well.
Well, to be fair, this is where the beachhead is established in pretty much every single Clubhouse defense of gym and bedroom. You want to hold on to Cash really badly, and there's one person suited on the defensive lineup to do it. That is the Kayid. You have the impact grenades, you have the shotgun, you have the electric claw tricks, and we saw some fantastic stuff happen in every region.
It looks like Mentalist is trying to get information onto that west side. The jacuzzi wall was what I highlighted to be the thing I'm most concerned about. Spec is watching for aggressive peaks from elsewhere, mainly from the dirt tunnel where people like to run out. If Aerowolf can kill Magnet, this could be the round. But right now, we need to see Fnatic counter this bandit trick.
If Aerowolf can kill Virtue, that's the round, really. They killed Magnet in the first one, didn't work out. And Hysterics, he can't get this bandit trick off, of course, because Specker, he's just too much in sync with the rest of his team. So is Magnet. Now, the Clash is going to be pushing up really hard, and the concussions are going to be key. Oh,
no way!
He gets one, he just runs out and takes down Magnet. Well, they did take down Magnet, but it was a bit late.
So I was wondering, what's the strategy for Aerowolf? Why would they open up all of the bathroom wall? This was the idea. Use the Clash, get aggressive. It doesn't matter if they open up this main wall. The Clash will help enable more picks. Now, as you said, Hysterics takes out Magnet. Not much utility lost there, and he's probably lost most of his drones as well. And Fnatic still have other players up. Specker may well still have one concussion remaining, which he could use on the Clash to deal some damage and knock that shield back so that his teammates can shoot him. We'll have to see, though. Luna Metal is in a really good spot. And it'll make it much more difficult for Fnatic to get aggressive onto this position.
He has no more concussions left. In fact, it's just the impact grenades, because that's why I was wondering what he was waiting for. He could have sent out the concussion and done a lot of damage, but, you know, not to be.
Specker now playing on these south windows. Sarah holding on, 30 seconds left, and still the smoke grenade up as well. The Clash Shield is disabled by that EMP, and Fnatic look to push on the back of that. Lunametal just holding fast to gain information for the team, and they start to push in. Mentalist finds one pick, but there's a good trade there too for Fnatic. Aerowolf only have 2 players left remaining, but they forgot the diffuser! Now they have to go all the way outside to get it again. 3 players from Fnatic. Lunametal can see all of them, and where is Mentalist? Can he deny the diffuser? 3 seconds on the clock, 2 seconds, there's no time. Goes for the 180, and Lunametal gets it. Can they deny the plant? It's a 2 versus 1. And it's all up to Rizraz to hold this post plant, but no way this is going to work. Can he get it? And there you go! The trade it out, and Aerowolf break the spell, and they make it onto match points here on Clubhouse.
I am in disbelief. I thought Mentalist should have been going for the flank. I was ready to say it. Like, what was Mentalist doing, pushing with the Clash? But that's exactly how Aero plays their Monty. And that's exactly how they're playing their Clash with Lunametal.
And dude, how good is Lunametal at that 180? That 180 spin Clash trick. As you put the shield on your back, it goes to your side, then it goes on your back. You move with the shield, so the shield is always facing the opponent. You whip out that SMG, and Lunametal got 2 kills like that. That is nuts. And by the end of it, as you said, they treated it like a Monty, and a beautiful clutch from Aerowolf. Match points, series points.
What I don't understand was, why was Rizraz running away? This is a Clash. You go up to her, you melee his shield, and you take her down. Yes, I know he was scared of the Valkyrie pushing up from behind, but the more you give ground to the Clash, they're gonna take it, and that's worse, because that is an almost certain loss.
Spur of the moment, as soon as Fnatic lost that numbers advantage, it was all over Red Rover.
The diffuser outside too, how do you do that?
Now keep this in mind, Aerowolf have not won any other bomb site defense as of yet. They have to win here on cash, or we're going to overtime. We haven't seen an overtime yet. Despite this being an incredibly close series, they've all been 7-5.
So now let's see what happens over on this last defense. Aerowolf have never beaten Fnatic ever as well, so this will be a day of firsts, really. Starting with this bomb site.
It might not be, we'll see.
Well, we'll see.
Fnatic may well come back here.
I'm expecting them to. As I said, when it was 5-0, you can never, ever, ever count Fnatic out.
It was 2 years ago that Fnatic went to their first APAC LAN event, and they lost in the semi-finals. And that was the last time they lost a series here at an APAC LAN event that wasn't for seeding. And here we have it, Aerowolf, time and time again, APAC events. We think this is their opportunity. Well, Aerowolf, it's been 2 years. And this is finally where you need to make the difference.
Hysteric is still pushing for the bandit trick. And, well, it's not going to work out again. So, what adjustment can Aerowolf make? Because so far, I'm not seeing any adjustment from them on this bomb site. Lunametal still roaming over in Jimin bedroom. Lusty's gonna find him. Drone gets taken out. Standard stuff. Not much change. Hysterics is on the stairs this time around. Okay, fair enough. And Speak Easy has been given a lot more free reign. And Nisera trying to avoid the tactic grenades taking out his Evil Eye, but it's just going to be the Zofia charge.
What is the plan for Aerowolf here? This should absolutely be a Fnatic-favored bomb site. They've won it so many times before in this match on the attack. They seem indomitable, but Aerowolf, they've made their stance their own bedroom, and they want to continue that here. Match point, series points to head to the semi-finals to face the winner of Norengo or C9. But it's so close, I'm sure they can taste it. Fnatic, the pressure is on.
Definitely it is, and this is perhaps the most pressure Fnatic have ever been in, even more than perhaps some of the international tournaments they've played in, because this is their home turf. This is where they're always expected to win. This expectation might just be crumbling all around them. As Hysterics, he's still on the roam base on the first floor. He's looking to go to the basement. C4 goes out. He's going to take down any Claymore there. Oh, how does he survive that?
Just barely gets away. Specker not able to close out that kill. He sees the buddy. Oh my god! I was gonna make a bloodbath call there, but not right now. Not right now. Fnatic get pretty darn close to finding that frag, but there's a lot more needs to be done. It looks like Magnet wants to make an entry. Rizraz is inside as well. They both find kills. 3 left for Aerowolf, but they're dropping like flies. Hysteria can find one. He finds the second. Specker, see you later, mate. 2 versus 3 for Aerowolf, and Fnatic just trying to hold on. They need to make this happen. They have garage control, but Aerowolf have all of the information. 20 seconds left, and the plant has to go down.
They have bomb site control. They have all the control that we could possibly want. Hysteria's gonna take down one last. He trays him out, but the plant is successful. Yes, sir. He's gonna peek the wrong way. He now gets the information. They know that there's one on catwalk, and oh, yes, sir. He's gonna get it. And what can he do against this last member? He's lying prone right now. It's a 1v1. Virtue versus Yasera. The top fragger from Fnatic versus one of the best from Southeast Asia. He's gonna go out leaping into the catwalk in search for this kill. And Yasera, he's likely gonna see the gun, the pre-fight.
Oh my God!
And that is Aerowolf winning things out. They send out the call loud and clear. You may beat us 4 times, but you're not gonna make it 5.
What a moment for APAC Rainbow Six Siege.
This is insane.
Aerowolf, for the first time, the gatekeepers have become the gate crashers. They've taken down the best that APAC has to offer, and they've done it here in the quarterfinals.
Mentalist is crying.
Yeah, you can certainly see how much it means to these guys. That is that's a phenomenal result for Aerowolf and for Fnatic as well. To see them out in the quarterfinals, that is almost unprecedented. In fact, it is unprecedented here in APAC.
We have never seen Fnatic go out first round in an APAC event, full stop.
I can't
until
believe
now.
it. And this is the time when I'm gonna let some of my bias show. Just
Go ahead, man. I think this is the time. If there was ever a time, it is now.
My Singaporean brothers, well done. I can't believe it that have done it. I predicted that Fnatic were gonna take it, and it certainly looked 5-0 to 5-5. Looked like Fnatic had it, but why does this remind me so much of Concert? It was Aerowolf trying to make the comeback and then being denied then. This time, it is Fnatic who tried the comeback and denied by Aerowolf.
And to think that that is the result of a 5-1 first half. We went all the way 7-5 on all 3 maps, and it looked like...
Mentalist is so overwhelmed.
I feel like you're so overwhelmed.
Yeah, I am.
Try not to fall over or something.
I feel like I've never casted a series like that in an APAC finals ever before.
Look, I mean, I've done a few APAC finals here. I know you guys have been around a little bit longer than I have, but I have never seen a game like that before. 7-5 in every single map to be able to I mean, this is the kind of a storyline where you look at this, you say 7-5, 7-5, 7-5, you think, Fnatic wins that, right? Almost every other time, in fact, every other time, they do win that. They're very good in those clutch situations. They're very good in those tight situations. And this time, finally, Aerowolf's able to pick them to the post. It is a break in the storyline, and they have broken that streak, Aerowolf. But my question is, you know, is their job yet done, right? They're going to get into the semi-finals, but it's only to the semi-finals, right? Yes, you've beaten Fnatic, but you still have either Cloud9 or Norarengo ahead of you. The job doesn't get easier here for Aerowolf. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
For sure. The stacked bracket that we've always talked about, it's because people, especially those overseas, they look at the 3 big teams in APAC. They look at Cloud9, Fnatic, and Norarengo. Well, arguably the best of those 3 teams, Fnatic has already gone down. Norarengo and Cloud9 will be the opponents of Aerowolf next up. It's no easy feat, but I think that this is just a huge breakthrough moment for Aerowolf, never having won an APAC finals.
Yeah, definitely the job's not done, and they need to be careful that they don't get ahead of themselves. That relief on their faces, it needs to turn into determination to make this semi-final win. But they have overcome their boogeyman. That's huge.
Indeed, you talk about the boogeyman, but there is still that APAC finals curse that is over the heads of Aerowolf. The semi-final curse, so many seasons in a row, they've managed to make it to the semi-final, and then they've been pipped to the post there. They have, as I'm going to say still, been defeated by the eventual winner, which, let's face it, going up against Cloud9 or Norarengo could still be a storyline that we see tomorrow.
I mean, Aerowolf, in that stacked bracket of the four amazing teams, Aerowolf were the most underrated in that entire bracket. And so far, they've taken the most rated team in that bracket. It's not going to stop there. I reckon they'll put up a hell of a fight to Norarengo or Cloud9, whichever one comes through. This is a huge moment for Aerowolf, and a huge moment for Fnatic as well. Unfortunately to say, Fnatic, it's been so long, they've been the dominant team in APAC, and for the very first time since 2 years ago, this event, they won't be heading through to the next round. They're not going to qualify for Tokoname Finals in Japan, and they'll be very lucky to qualify for the Six Invitational 2020.
Indeed, and you know, this is Aerowolf 2 and Fnatic 1, but I also like to say, talking about underrating, this is Aerowolf 1, Reddit 0.
And the community vote as well.
86%.
86%. Well, it turns out the community was wrong. Maybe we were all wrong. I think we were all deep down kind of expecting a Fnatic win there, maybe hoping a little bit for an upset. It's always nice to see something new coming through, and as they tend to say, you know, the bigger they are, the harder they fall, and I certainly think that is going to be a storyline that we have to talk about here for Fnatic. You also mentioned a day of firsts today for not only Aerowolf, but maybe for Norengo as well, if they get knocked out in this next quarterfinal. We're going to find out. That's later on down the track. For now, we have, of course, got to jump down onto the stage. It's going to be Danny Ken. I'm sure this will be an emotional interview, so let's check it out.
Thank you very much, Jordan. I'm joined here with Luna Metal from Aerowolf. Now, I remember last season, you were visibly upset when you fell short in the semi-final there to make it through to that sort of that last step. It's been a couple of rounds. You've finally taken down probably your fiercest rivals at LAN. How does it feel?
You have no idea how much I wanted to do this interview. To be able to stand here and say we finally pulled one over Fnatic it's just an ecstatic feeling. I'm trying to keep myself composed, but my emotions are running right now.
Absolutely. I think Mentalist there, it was almost like winning the semi-final for a ticket. It definitely means a lot to you and your team, doesn't it?
Of course it does. For 3 losses, and this is the first time we've taken it against them, it means the world to us.
Okay, I have to ask, obviously you've come close, you haven't taken them at a LAN before, and you came super close last season. This time, what was the preparation? What changed to give you that edge in Season 10?
I think our biggest enemy as a part-time team is time. So we had to allocate our time really, really well. And this season, I spent a lot more on tactics and strats and just focusing on our enemies. I haven't played ranked much at all, just because I've been spending my time doing all this. Yeah. So it's all about the prep for strats, I guess.
And of course, you're looking very sharp there heading into that final map of the series. 5-0, and you may have, I'm not too sure what happened. I guess that's why I'm asking you. Was it composure or just getting a bit excited, looking too far ahead? What happened to give that window to Fnatic?
I think Clubhouse historically has been a very more defender-sided map than attacker-sided. So, and we knew that our biggest enemies were ourselves, and we were prone to throwing. So, even for mental prep before the LAN, it was all about no matter how many rounds we start throwing, we have to get back. We have to get back. As long as we get back, we can still push forward and win the game. So many games have been lost just because we lose the momentum and we just crumble.
Well, it's absolutely amazing to see you come across and defeat that major hurdle. We'll see you in the semi-final tomorrow. Congratulations once again. Jordan, it's back to you.
Thanks, Danny. Yeah, certainly going to be a lot of teams, and well, I guess teams and players and spectators that are going to be rooting for Aerowolf now. I think that is the underdog story that maybe we all want to see going through to the grand final. I know you would be saying you would like to see that in Fian Dev. Look, I mean, I'm a bit speechless when it comes to that game. How big of a deal is this for ANZ Rainbow Six as well? You know, we have to talk about that aspect. It's only wildcard left now.
Well, yeah, for ANZ in particular, right? This is the ANZ region that we are hosting this event in Sydney, and for so long, ANZ has been one of the strongest regions. Fnatic really is the team that's made that happen. Wildcard has certainly been on the up recently, but they have a huge task ahead of them in that lower bracket, so it's looking like the chances potentially of seeing ANZ teams going to Tokoname is getting slim.
Yeah, I want to talk to you guys about Cloud9 Norengo as well, because you're going to be taking a break after this one. Give me your quick thoughts on it, because look, Cloud9, they came in last season, we had high expectations for them, and they didn't really turn up. They got 2 rounds for the whole event. Norengo is a tough opponent as well to be going up against in your quarterfinal, but is there a world in which we see both Fnatic and Norengo out in the quarterfinals? Be unbelievable, right?
Absolutely. I know. I maybe you might think it is, but I 100% think it's possible to see both Fnatic and Norengo out in the quarters. Norengo are not at the team that they used to be. Right now, they've had roster issues time and time again. Even just recently, they've lost their 5th player. They have a new player coming in.
Ramu, he was one of the most prolific fraggers in Japan. Now he's coaching a team that's not even the Challenger League, and in has come Mavi, so let's see what he can do. I think that's going to be a very, very tense matchup, but both Cloud9 and Aerowolf, they came into this with the focus of defeating their inner demons. And Aerowolf's done it. I think Cloud9 can do it too.
And the one thing I do want to say is that Norengo is fighting for a spot at the Pro League Finals in Japan on home turf. They are the Japan team, and they don't want to let that slip. They want to bring it home.
No, they certainly do not. And I think that is going to be a good note for us to take a breather. A lot to think about in the break. It's the Rainbow Six Pro League Season 10 Finals. It's the 2-year anniversary of APAC for Rainbow Six. Time to take a break. We'll be back after this.